everyone, and welcome to Step Up to Rise Up, a weekly show that hopes to inspire you to reach a little higher, go a little farther, to just be your best self this year and really create your best year in the process. So, last week, if you remember, we did a little bit of work on spring cleaning because we often think of that at this time of year when we spring clean our houses, that in fact we can spring clean our lives too. And so I began to think about spring and all the things that we do in the spring. And of course, for me, that is all about gardening season. And so today I thought I would share with you some lessons or some thoughts about how we need to be poised for growth in our lives, just as we poise ourselves for growth in the garden. So that is the topic of today's live. And I want to quickly introduce myself to those of you who may be meeting me for the first time. I am Linda Nelson, and I'm a belief mindset coach and creator of the Believe in You Academy. And I help guide heart-centered female solopreneurs like you to grow your business by focusing on your most important asset, that being you. I provide strategies to help you turn your passion into purpose and profit so that you can live the life of intention and impact that you deserve. So today's topic, as I said, is Are you poised for growth? What my gardens have taught me about growth. And as I said, I love the beginning of a new month, a new week, a new season. And now, with the month of April upon us, we're also going to be entering a new quarter. And so it is time to kind of take stock and reflect back a little bit on what we did and what we did accomplish in our respective businesses or with our life goals. And now take some time to look forward to the next quarter and what things we're going to do differently to get different results. And remember our mantra, if you want to do something different, you have to, if you want this year to be something different, you have to do something different. And we are going to be doing a workshop on Thursday of this week to kind of talk about those very same things. It will be at noon Central, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. So if you're joining me live, I'm going to see if I've got some company with me. If you are, quickly say hello in the comments and let me know that you're here, and I will circle back. If I don't notice you right away, I'll circle back. And if you should have thoughts about your own gardens and experiences with that, or questions that might come up for you as we talk about today's topic, please note those in the comments below. And again, I will circle back and talk to you more about that in the comments after the live is over. If you're catching this on replay, please put in hashtag team replay, say hello, and let me know your thoughts there as well so that I can circle back and say hello to you as well. So with that, we are going to get into today's topic. So as I was thinking about my gardens and some of the correlations that there is between my gardens and my life, I was reminded again that so many of the lessons that I learn in my gardens really relate to my life as well. And it's there in my happy place that I feel most connected to the Creator when I'm outside. And so I love my gardens for that reason alone. But obviously, I also like all that it produces throughout the spring and summer and even into the fall, as each season gives way to new diversity in my garden. So I thought I would share with you a couple of things that I thought about. These are like 3 things that I want to talk about today as it relates to being poised for the growth in your garden as well as the growth in your life. And so the number one tip, or the number one thing we need to do, both in our gardens and in our life, is we need to have a vision. When you're going to plant a garden, you have to create a vision for it. You don't just grab whatever seeds are laying around or that you can get your hands on and just throw them on the ground willy-nilly and just expect and hope for the best. Instead, you have to ask yourself some questions ahead of that. You have to have a vision and some clarity about the type of garden you want, the purpose that you want your garden to serve. Is it going to be a flower garden? Is it going to be a vegetable garden? Is it going to be a combination of both? So you have to determine what it is you want to grow and then how you want it laid out. Like, you again don't want just everything coming all up in one space. You need to think about how you lay it out. So in other words, you have a vision for your garden and a plan. You also need to do that for your life. So just as you should have a vision and a plan for your garden, you should also have a vision for your life. What kind of life do you want to have? I'm asking these questions hypothetically, but if you want to comment below, that would be helpful too, to know what you're thinking about. What is your life purpose? It's important as we envision our life that we think about our purpose. What do you want to achieve? You know, we're talking about 2022 as a whole year, but remember, we do break that down into year, maybe 6-month increments of time, a quarter, which is why we're focusing in this workshop on Thursday on this quarter. Then you break a quarter down into months, break that down into weeks, and then you break down weeks into days because you want to take baby steps to get there. So you want to do things with a vision and a plan in mind. And again, we talk about this often. If you want 2022 to be different, you have to do something different this year. And so, pardon me, my phone is ringing, but no one wants me until I'm doing a live, and then sadly everybody wants to talk to me then. So at any rate, we will talk more about breaking that all down in this workshop, but we really do need to have a vision. That's really important as we start out. And if you're not, in fact, where you want to be this year in 2022, guess what? Only one quarter has gone by. You still have 3 more quarters to realize some of what you intended for this year. So we'll just work hard to make quarter 2 the best quarter that you've had so far. And that's what we're going to talk about more on the Thursday workshop. The second thing you need as you plan a garden or have a vision for your garden and set out to do that is you need good soil. Whatever it is that you decide to plant in your garden, it won't grow unless you have healthy soil. A gardener spends a lot of time, energy, and money to improve the soil of their gardens and create a strong, rich, durable soil. Your mindset is like the soil in the garden, and it is the foundation of your life's vision. You have to have positive thoughts, and you have to cultivate, notice that word, a growth mindset to produce the best results for what you want. You need good perspective. You may need to you do need to see things through a positive lens, and you have to feed your mind daily with good things, good thoughts. You can start by journaling, by practicing gratitude, and look at failure as lessons that you learn, not as you failed and you need to be judged for it. And so in order to have that good soil, you need to look at that as the foundation. And that includes some habits and some positive thinking and a growth mindset, if you will. And get excited then about the possibilities that come from that. So that's point number 2. Point number 1, you got to have a vision and a plan for your garden and your life. And number 2, you need to have good soil or a good foundation once you have that vision in place. And then, third point I want to make today is that a garden needs constant tending. We don't just plant it and forget it. After you prepared your soil and planted your seeds, there's still lots of work to do in your garden and in your life. A garden requires constant care and attention. You need to do things like decide on a watering schedule, how often and when. You need to pull up weeds regularly. Weeds come in and they can take away all your vision if you let it. So you got to get on those weeds. You have to prune. You have to cut away some of the things that aren't helping growth in your garden. And pruning helps growth to appear even more once it's pruned. And that's kind of a letting go process in the garden. You need to add fertilizer. In other words, you want to do things that help that garden grow. And then as your plants are coming in and they're growing, if there's any kind of problem, if they need more water or they are getting too much, you make corrections or adjustments along the way so that your garden grows beautifully throughout the summer, spring and summer. So just as your garden needs constant tending, so do your goals and your dreams. Make sure that you take the action necessary to achieve your goals on a continuous basis. Remember, we subscribe to the philosophy in this group about baby steps, that we just do little steps every day, and over time they lead to big results. And that's the only way you'll get your goals to bear fruit, if you will. So one of the cautions are intending to our goals every day are the weeds. And weeds can be things like watching too much TV or scrolling too much on Facebook or any number of things that cause us to procrastinate and not tend to the goals at hand. And so you need to take away or pull the weeds of self-doubt, of, excuse me, I'm going to take a quick drink here, of imposter syndrome or squirrel mentality or shiny object syndrome, whatever those things are that need to be pulled and gotten rid of. We need to do that in our life too. And then if we need some inspiration, we may need a change of pace or a change of task or a mindset shift or talking to a friend, going for a walk. Spend some time rewarding yourself for what you've already done, for what you've already accomplished. So, and then again, we need to devote time each day to tending to your most important goal so that it can grow nice and strong and that you take steps every single day to get there. So the last part is tending your garden, the last point I should say. And aren't you as important as your garden? You deliver beauty in the world too, and you motivate and inspire people with the actions you take, with the life you live, and the person that you become in the process. So you need to tend to you every day as well and give yourself as much care and attention. Give your goals as much care and attention as we tend to do in our gardens and with other people. So, if we look at our garden as our life, what do you want your garden to look like? What seeds will you plant? What steps will you take to tend to your garden every day? As I said earlier in the live, we're going to be doing a live workshop on Thursday, March 31st, which is the last day of the month and the last day of the quarter. And we're going to do a reflection project, kind of a spring cleaning, if you will, of our life. And we're going to learn how to do this together by kind of using this garden analogy. We're going to create a vision. We're going to reflect on some things that went wrong and right in our last quarter, just like you kind of do that as you're laying out plans for your garden. And then we're going to look at the weeds that might get in our way, those things we're going to have to root out or let go of, decluttering, if you will, like spring cleaning. And then lastly, we're going to create a plan together with some habits and some good soil to ensure that we have a fabulous second quarter. So I encourage you to block off some time with me on Thursday at noon Central, where we're going to go through that kind of spring cleaning of our life process using these tips that I talked about that we do in our gardens. And we're going to create an amazing second quarter together so that you'll look back come what? It must be July 1st already. Yikes, the months go by so fast. You'll look back, at this kind of start of summer or in the midst of summer and really have something to celebrate about the second quarter being your best ever. So that's what I want for each of you. Mark your calendars for March 31st at noon, and I'll see you here in the group. And be sure to check for some more details. I'm going to have a workbook for you, some sheets for you to work on as we reflect on that together. So have a fabulous day, my friends. Again, let me know that you're here on the live or on the replay, and I will see you back here noon Central on Thursday the 31st. Have a wonderful day, everyone.